Yes, it's Tchaikovsky's music sometimes can be deceptively simple, but yet incredibly difficult, because the emotions are always so raw and kind of, especially in this piece, you don't have many notes, but then there's so much expressiveness, and the question is how to achieve it. And I think one thing that's really important to start with is the pulse, because the pulse in the music, especially, can I try? Especially in this piece, is very important, and the left hand is the thing that gives that pulse. So everything has to kind of rest on this. Fast maybe, but I think the idea is that sometimes when you play and there are a little bit too many kind of breaks, it's this piece is a little bit more like think of it as a kind of never-ending piece of string or something, or not even string, but something thicker, which kind of bends and molds, but it's not. There are no little corners here and there where there should be inconsistencies with pulse. So maybe always go back to the pulse, and on top of that you can then create the melody. And it's quite a, even though you have the melody line, it's actually quite a harmonic piece. So what I mean by this is that you also have to think of it in terms of harmony. So how the harmony progresses. Kind of melody goes, even if it is if it even is a melody, it goes on top of the left hand, but the left hand is there to always support this pulse. I'm not sure about the fingering. One thing I noticed is sometimes, and maybe that's to do with the fingering you use, you have to try and avoid these little bumps. It has to be all very, very smooth. Very important. There's a little bit more hopeful here. It moves to the B flat note. So harmonically kind of progresses. It's kind of quite simple in a way, just cascading down. But what I found slightly in your playing is that there would be these kind of little interruptions or interferences. So just think of it as a kind of, you know, that figure of eight that just is always kind of weaving throughout. It becomes more hopeful here. Sorry. If you do rubato, it has to be quite, it has to be kind of in the relationship to the pulse of the left hand, because, you know, for the listener, as soon as you hear interference in this kind of pulse, you kind of lose the intensity. Also, you kind of stop listening to where the music is progressing, and you kind of have to really keep the listener. Just not even the listener, yourself. Forget about the listener. Just you have to keep yourself kind of grounded in the harmony and in the pulse of the music. before you can be expressive with the melody. So maybe we can just try a little bit. So when you start, just take a deep breath and just kind of, slightly deeper bass. Yes, you're starting way too late. It's kind of. Not too loud. The melody has a long way to climb. Not too loud, the second note. That's fine. Don't change the pedal in the second bar. It's all one pedal, so just one cloud of sound. Yes, nice. Soft. Don't rush. It's kind of stretching. Much better. Yeah, this was good. Answer. Just make sure you get just the right amount of tension at the top. Sorry, I just mean don't die down too soon. So it's. But it's, the interaction between the right and left hand. It's continuous. Yeah, so you have. There's no interference. And think of the melody like you're really kind of stretching it out like that. There's no, it's like a rubber band, and it expands gradually. It doesn't it never goes like that. So it's, try again. That was much better.
We can stop again.
Yeah. Walking pace. Soft. Not too soon, because so it's fine. Then go back. Very long phrases. Here, for example, maybe you heard. It's really like you're always stretching this rubber band. Into the B flat. Crescendo. Not crescendo, it's just play into the B flat. Don't go away to. I mean, there's a lot you wrote in the music, which is fine, but I just generally, with Tchaikovsky, I prefer the music to kind of speak for itself, because it's already so emotional just by being what it is. If you play something as too rubato or do something too much expressive, especially in this kind of piece, it kind of loses its magic. Because it kind of has to, the emotion is already so raw in Tchaikovsky that you don't want to impose, you have to be careful not to impose too much on top of it. And rubato can be kind of slightly destroying this kind of simplicity of it. It doesn't mean you should play flat, just that the expressiveness has to come through in a different way. So a lot of people play this piece super rubato and sort of a little bit too, I don't know, but it's actually much more special if it's more simple. it's sometimes simplicity is super difficult, and one of the most difficult things in music is to sometimes just not interfere with it, and it's very difficult to kind of explain. But I think one way is, like I said, just to think of it is like you're always stretching out. There's no little kind of. It's always. Because maybe sometimes the fingering or something, the finger change, those things shouldn't get in the way of this kind of stretching out the melody. It just continues, and every time you phrase off, one phrase starts from the end of the other phrase. It's all kind of layers and layers and layers. There is no real stop actually in the whole piece. It continues. If you, it doesn't really fit. Kind of really stretching out. Intensity continues, but not at the expense of rhythm. Anything you do is very minimal, and yeah, it's just there's no interruption anywhere. Make sure you don't phrase too soon, because it's important, even if you have those breaks, the music, the intensity of the music has to continue through the silence too. Yeah. Just try from here. Just play maybe the end here. Deep into the keys. Make sure D flat is heard. Don't stop. Don't rush. Not too soon. Still intense. Only here. Never any small, like it's just always like that. Continue. Yeah. So the long notes can make longer by supporting it with the left hand. Sound, you kind of, the left hand helps your right hand to kind of push through with this kind of intensity. More, yeah, make sure it's not too soft. It's not too soft, these chords. Don't change pedal on the chord as well. Yes. First note, not the never on the first note. Don't stop. That's fine, don't worry. Technical thing. Can you just do this? wrist. Yeah, think of the A. Yeah. I wouldn't do it with the fourth finger. 5, 3, 5, 4, 5, 3, 5, 4, everywhere. Yeah. But you can change it later, don't worry. Yeah, be careful. Yeah. Yeah. Once you start hearing all these things, you sort of end up realizing how much there is. But you have to have a trained ear to hear every bump and every kind of interruption.
Yeah.
But and it's really difficult. It is actually, it's like one of the great pieces, but actually it's a very difficult piece musically because there are a few notes, and every note has kind of so much meaning, and then the pulse and to have the intensity with so little notes is actually harder sometimes, the simpler it is. And like I say, simplicity sometimes is one of the hardest things to do in music. Can I just talk about the middle section? It kind of, again, there's a double bar line, but it kind of melts into this G major from... kind of, it changes from this. Kind of the left hand, the left hand is responsible for the changing character. It becomes a little bit more, poco poco piamoso. Just that interplay. But I think how it melts kind of from the G minor into the G major is quite important. Just try that. Yeah, be careful, it's not rushing. With in terms of technique, you have to separate sometimes your hand in two places. You have the upper part, and you have the lower part, and what I mean by that is that you have the voicing at the top, and then you have the separate kind of chord in the middle. And they have to be independent. So just to get more voicing from the top, just more into the keys. Play the fourth finger so high up, because if you play there, then it doesn't sound. Yeah, just be aware it's not. It's a question of your ears. You have to be more critical with yourself when you play. So for example, I would practice without pedal, and I would just really listen to the melody, how it will sound awful without pedal, but it's one way to hear every note. To play really legato. Don't let your ears have any slips in terms of what you hear and what's... just, No, it's yeah, it's this rubber thing. Still here, yeah. Soft bottom voice. Soft. Melt. Soft still. More. Keep going, keep going. Yeah, I think the idea is that it kind of gathers momentum, and then it kind of starts not really sure where it's going, but then once it gathers momentum here, it doesn't stop anymore, because when the momentum is so big that it doesn't, and once it gets to here, then it knows what it's doing, but everything before that, here's a little bit unsure, but then here it doesn't stop anymore, so it keeps going. Be careful, this note is not too loud. So it's let's try again from here. The wrist. It's better to play 4/2. Keep going. Not so much I think also maybe detached. Just more direction. Can you do from here? I'm trying to think what is wrong here. It's too divided here, right? Yeah, maybe not so divided. Yeah. Not so much. Yeah. So no accent on this note. No accent on the E. Soft longer, yeah?
Sorry.
That's fine. Yeah, just a little bit more momentum. So once you gather the momentum, don't stop. Go to the top. It's kind of I think it continues. I would continue because you had so much time to gather the momentum once. You don't want to lose it too soon. I think it kind of keeps going until there. It's the tension goes all the way until there, and then it kind of deflates. And as often in Russian music, you have a kind of second voice, but the second voice shouldn't interrupt the melody. It's just it's soft. But can we just try this? Just don't stop too soon. Yeah, just more momentum. Yeah, stay there. You kind of stay there. don't go there too soon, otherwise it looks too easy. Yeah. Not too soft. Not too soft. Yeah, again, stay there. Yeah, it's fine. The rest is kind of the same, just with the added middle voice. Can we just do the ending quickly? It's the I forgot the Nutcracker. Can I try? It's what is it? The fairies or something. It's sort of very, very magical and. It's chromatic, but also harmonic, not so much melodic. So don't play too rubato. Try it. Yeah. Just one pedal. And this one quite soft and even.
One pedal the whole way.
If you can just make this very even and soft, then I would do one pedal, yes. Soft, don't rush. Yeah, change here. I will change a little bit here. But I think it's nicer because you kind of blend in the harmony more. It's an answer to this. Change very seamlessly the pedal, so all the changes shouldn't be obvious. Yeah. They're all very, very seamless changes in the pedal. It's a little bit. It's all. I think it's so. That's why you sometimes have to cut your hand in two, separate the voice with the chord, because as soon as you play the chord, there's a bump in the melody. Yeah, so it's very important. Even though there's a chord, don't kind of make da 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 da. Don't make a new start. It's kind of, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, just maybe. Again, momentum. Yeah. So one way to kind of improve it is to just maybe. You can't play everything kind of here the same dynamic. There should be a little bit of a crescendo. You need to come out a little bit. If you don't make a slight, if you don't come out a little bit, then it will be kind of nothing really. You know what I mean? You have to come out a little bit so that you can go away again. And actually it doesn't matter how many ones you play, it's more important that you have the shape in the phrase. Yes. Just try to... slow. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's much better. It has a little bit more meaning now. The only other thing to improve is the pedal. Just make sure it's not changed to kind of directly and abruptly. It's kind of it kind of melts. I can't tell exactly where I'm changing, but it's kind of the change shouldn't be too obvious. So. Not so much on the note, but after the note, and also just to blend it in a little bit, because otherwise, if you change too abruptly, it can become a little bit choppy. So. Because no one should be able to tell where exactly you are changing it, so it's just one way to make it. But I think in general in the piece, it's just pay attention how the melody really stretches always. Just how you voice it, and sometimes it's really a technical thing because you're playing a chord. And whenever there is a chord, it kind of makes an accent unintentionally. Or maybe because actually I hear accent on the. Sometimes it's maybe the fingering. I play 2-1, but you need to avoid that. With pedal, change after the note more, so that you have a little bit more seamless transitions. Because that's another thing that can help you legato better. I just mean in general, you know, music can really have a lot more meaning if it's if it's more simple, but at the same time not flat. It's very important, very difficult to get the balance right between it being simple and not flat and expressive. It's just how you use your hands, how you use your voicing, how you use your pedal, how you use your articulation. There's just a million things. But the main thing I think is your ears. If you are critical enough with your ears, and you, like you were when I point out when you have the bumps, then you kind of start hearing them, and then that's one way to get them, iron them out. So it's really all one seamless kind of music. But no. Are you playing any more Tchaikovsky? Is that's it? You should play more Tchaikovsky. Or listen to his symphonic music. It's just, when you hear the kind of the winds sometimes, how the melody kind of can be so meaningful, but at the same time simple. Then it's you can transfer it to the piano. I think it's one way of learning. Thanks.